Welcome to Withdraw Consent. I'm Jack. This is Victor. Apparently, we're going to do back-to-back about Israel and Jews week just because there's so much content related to it. We're also working on a really good media week.
Okay.
We got another villain episode that's outside of this whole Israel thing. We got some good stuff coming up. But anyways, we find ourselves talking about current events. So we kind of dumped out one that was kind of tangential to Jews.
Right.
And we're putting this one in. But basically, what I want to talk to you about is what's going on in Israel right now.
Okay.
Okay? So I'm not sure if you heard the news yet because you kind of don't listen to the news.
Right.
But basically what happened is they decided that it was time to blow up the Iranian embassy in Syria.
And who's they?
Israel. Yeah, of course.
So it's someone else's embassy in someone else's country.
Yes.
But they needed to blow it up.
They needed to blow it up.
And what was going on there that was so terrible?
There was a general on a diplomatic mission.
Oh, no.
So, I mean, we're going to get to the details, but is this insanity?
Yes.
So, like, embassies and stuff, they're covered by this Vienna Convention. And it says, like, look, Syria can't go in there and search.
It's sovereign land.
Yeah, it's sovereign land. And so, like, if a U.S. embassy gets attacked, we treat it like an attack on our own soil. And so this happened against Iran, who were trying to not start World War III with.
Right.
And were their allies. Okay, so I want to break down the story. I got another even more terrible story than this. But, like, this is amazing that this is happening. Right?
Yes.
And we still support them. Okay. So basically there's this embassy, and then there's it's called the consulate annex.
Okay.
So it's still on the embassy, but it's not the actual embassy itself. And so basically they blew this up, and they killed at least 7 Iranian officials.
But they bombed it like with jets, or
I'm unclear whether it's rock. I'm
unclear.
But
they've claimed responsibility.
Not officially.
Okay.
Iran has claimed that it's them, and then like 4 senior generals admitted that it was. You know, like to the reporters. It's pretty clear. You know. Okay, so Israel's statement, which was supposed to be talked about later after we talked about the actual event, is that they said, but if an embassy is being used for military stuff, then it's a military target. Well, I mean, theoretically, they're correct. If you had subterranean rocket launchers that were going to shoot nukes and then you transported nukes there, it's a viable target.
Right.
But a general's on a diplomatic mission doesn't count.
It's not military.
Honestly, I don't know if in the history of the entire human race,
this has happened.
If an embassy has been attacked in another country by a country.
By a third party.
By a country. But no countries have ever had. Remind me of a scenario where a country attacked an embassy.
Right.
Terrorists, mobs of people who were just pissed off about your country, and it's usually in their country that this is happening. Anyways, so 7 Iranian officials, including Mohammad Reza Zahidi, a top commander in Iran's elite Revolutionary Guards, and Senior Commander Mohammad Hadi Haji Rahimi, according to Iran's foreign ministry. You Google that guy, and you cannot get a Wikipedia on him because it says Hadi Haji Rahimi, and there's so many different things you could be talking about. Impossible. Anyways, at least 6 Syrian citizens were also killed, Iranian state television reported on Tuesday. So this happened on the 1st. April Fool's Day, okay? It's so tragic that Syrians would die because another country is doing terrorist attacks on another country's soil within your country, and you're walking down the road and you get blown up. Now, they could have been working in there.
But also sucks that the Iranians died.
Oh, no, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But it's like, at least they're like in the government. These are just like the mom who was going to pick up some sugar while the neighbor watched a kid. Gone. You know,
Is that another reason why they're so popular?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gosh. Okay. So let's talk about this main guy, though, Zahidi. He's a former commander of the IRGC. We just talked about them. Ground Forces, Air Force, and the deputy commander of its operations. Is the most high-profile Iranian target killed since then U.S. President Donald Trump ordered the assassination of IRGC General Qasem Soleimani. We have a whole episode about this, right? In Baghdad in 2020, he killed. Well, I'll put the link in the description.
Just randomly bombed a dude.
Yeah, he killed him because he was on a peace mission to get peace between Saudi Arabia and Iran, and that peace in the Middle East would hurt Israel. They want the Muslims to be divided. So, Donald Trump. Okay. So, Iran and Syria accused Israel of authoring the attack, with Tehran warning of a serious response, and the powerful Iran-backed Lebanese militant group Hezbollah saying that the strike will be met with punishment and revenge. Iran also said that it would hold the United States answerable due to its support of Israel. Of course, you know?
Yep.
I'm just going to give you some statements of what they said. You know?
Yeah.
So the Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, said Israel would be punished for the attack, while President Ibrahim Raisi, so he's the president, not the Supreme Leader, said it will not go unanswered, state news agencies reported. The Israeli military told CNN it does not comment on foreign reports. However, a military spokesman and Israel believes the target struck was a military building of Quds forces, a unit of the IRGC responsible for foreign operations. So it was a different building. No, it was the same building. And they did notify the United States that they were going to do the attack, but their planes were already in the air when they notified us.
Oh, so it was planes. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Because planes were in the air, right, true. And then also, So the United States response was immediately contact Iran and say we had nothing to do with this and we had no foreknowledge, while the planes were on the ground, we had no foreknowledge,
Yeah.
which is it's a start on the response. According to our intelligence, this is no consulate and this is no embassy. Israel Defense Forces spokesperson Rear Admiral Daniel Hagan told CNN, I repeat, this is no consulate and this is no embassy. This is a military building of the Quds Force disguised as a civilian building in Damascus. The embassy. Okay, so Jason, I already talked about that. Okay. 4 unnamed Israel officials acknowledged that Israel carried out the attack. New York Times reported, so I said they were generals earlier there. 4 unnamed officials. Anyways, so basically, I could go into more to that Zahidi guy, but I don't really feel like it because there's this Quds Force thing, and if you go on like Wikipedia and stuff, it's really trashy. It's saying that like it was this Jerusalem force and that they were all terrorists and stuff, but they're part of the Revolutionary Guard, and that he was in direct communication with Hezbollah and stuff. I'm gonna give you a title of a news article from the Detroit News. Okay. U.S. braces for retaliation after attack on Iran consulate, even as it says it wasn't involved. Right?
Okay.
The U.S. says we weren't involved. So, like, obviously, there's consequence for the United States.
Sure.
Or they fear a consequence for the United States. Okay, imagine you were in a good country. Like, what would be the appropriate reaction? You got this ally, Israel. They've never done anything like this before in history. Just imagine. And they do this. Like, what would you respond? What would be your diplomatic response to Israel?
Close down their embassy here and cut ties with them. Like you want to. These are crazy people. Why are we dealing with them? They're putting our citizens in harm's way.
Yeah, I feel like I would want to like make a press statement and say, United States stands with Iran during this terrible tragedy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe this will open up diplomatic communications between us so that we can make a new ally in the Middle East. You know what I'm saying?
Sanctions on Israel.
Yeah, I would end all aid to Israel.
Yeah.
If a boat's about to land if a boat is landed in their harbor and offloaded 90%, it's going to drive away with the remaining 10% of the cargo, unless they want to try to steal it, in which case our planes are going up,
Right.
And I would say, you're never getting aid again in the history of this world until you do a sincere public apology to Syria, to Iran, and you pay them and their families, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you find every person who was involved in this and just hang them for war crimes. Then we could talk about a future. This is insanity. This is World War III insanity. Right? If somebody does this, you should just...
Maybe that's the goal. We have to be destroyed anyway, according to Israel.
How did they not get destroyed in the middle, though?
Right.
It just seems like insanity.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you about another story happening.
Oh, wow.
This is great. Okay? 2 million people in Palestine, right?
Okay.
They're starving. A lot of them, their average calorie is about 247 calories per day.
Ooh.
Okay?
So Jack's about ready to say some numbers incorrectly. He's going to say 400,000 tons of food, and it's actually 400 tons of food. And so there'll be a little note at the bottom every time he makes these mistakes coming right up.
Because math is hard.
Yeah.
So the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, which is a wealthy country, right? They send a ship with 400,000 tons of food.
Wow.
To help them. 400,000 tons of food is 1 million meals.
Okay.
That's enough to feed half of Palestine one meal one day.
Wow.
So it's insignificant if you think about it, but it's something. Send something. Just send something. You know what I mean? So I applaud them for doing that, right?
Okay.
So the ship gets there. There's this group called the WCK, which is the World Central Kitchen. Okay? So there's volunteers, and they're just getting the food. It's all food supplies, and then they got to make it. So they got to cook the rice. They got packets of seasoning. You know what I'm saying? And they're just going to make these meals and stuff and take them out. So they They do a YouTube video and I'm sorry, I'm smiling. I should not be smiling because it's so disgusting, the situation. They make a YouTube video and they're just so happy, these Europeans, they're like, we're going to feed them. They need us. We're going to go on, get out there, We salute you who are about to die, we'll say, And they've contacted Israel and they said, okay, we got 3 armored vehicles. It's going to say WCK on the top and sides of them. We're going to move along these streets at precisely this time to get to this location to deliver this many meals. Israel says, you're good to go. As they fire up the drone and send it off, right? So they get on the street, boom, drone shoots a rocket, one of the armored vehicles, they're getting out wounded, quick, put them in the other vehicle. They're calling, Israel, you're attacking us, stop. They're going to fire 2 more rockets, right? And they're going to kill 7 of these aid workers. Okay, of the people, I just learned this right before we filmed because I forgot to research, but one's a Canadian U.S. dual citizen. 3 of them are British citizens. One is a Palestinian, one is Australian, and the other one's Polish. So these are just the best people in the world who just want to dedicate their lives to never making money, just helping human beings.
Right.
They just want to be part of the solution. So whoever, the UAE or the humanitarian organization, tells the ship to sail away. So this ship sails away with 300 tons of food on it.
Okay.
Which means that they only delivered 100 tons of food, which means they only brought 250,000 meals, which is enough to feed 1/8 or 12.5% of the Palestinian population 1 meal for 1 day, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at this, and then you put together some other things, like you see all these videos on X of them, like Israel has authorized humanitarian relief to go into the border crossings. There's, I believe, 6 in Israel, 1 in Egypt. So the trucks will come up, but the settlers are there, and the settlers will run out and pull these guys out of the trucks. You're not taking that food in there. So the Israeli settlers are blocking them on the Israeli side and literally protesting and preventing trucks from going in to bring them food. Now, so you could say that's unrelated to the Israeli government. Maybe. I agree. Maybe they're just enthusiastic Zionists, right? Okay. They want genocide in there, so they're going to go out and do the thing that would lead to the death. But that's not necessarily the government. Now, this is obviously the government doing it. Their excuse for doing this is they had intelligence that there was a Hamas fighter in one of the vehicles being transported across the city. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You did not have one piece of intelligence.
No.
This is just war crimes. They apologize for the accident as well.
Accident like the Liberty. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's just all accidents. So if you look at this, the end game here is just to starve the population.
Totally.
It is not going to take that many more days. Because a week from now, where are we going to be at? Are we going to be at 10,000 starved? Because if the number's 34,000 dead civilians right now, and you just pop 10,000 more on, the numbers are going to start going up really fast.
Yeah.
And it's a genocide no matter how you do it.
Totally is.
Yeah, there's no way that you can say it's not a genocide when you're starving a population intentionally and then bombing the food that you allow in. I mean, I feel so bad for them. They're such suckers. They're calling the people who are bombing them. We're going to go left now because we don't want to be bombed more. Oh, they went left.
Thanks.
They went left. Yeah. These are the people doing it. You don't suspect that Hamas is doing this,
Right. Every time we do these stories, I feel such shame that I live in a country that supports these awful human beings.
Yeah.
It is awful.
It's sickening.
Yeah.
And just like, if you want to my wife says, please don't do it. She says, your soul, don't do it. Right? But I go on Twitter sometimes because I don't go on Twitter a lot.
Oh, okay.
And you just put in hashtag Gaza genocide.
Okay.
You put in that and you just scroll through. And every day, completely different videos because there's all these different genocidal things happening. And so you don't got to go on very often, but if you just want to see something disgusting, this is where you go. And she says, please don't, your soul, she says, right? Yeah. I don't ever show her any of this. Anyways, like so many times they just like handcuff a guy, blindfold him, and they're like, get in the truck, kill him. Just kill him. They're on video. They know they're on video. They like went and pushed this guy, and he pushed him back, and they pulled out the gun. Pop, pop, pop. And all these Palestinians are like, "What's happening?" Just it's insanity.
But they are the people that they accuse Germany of being in the 40s. They're the epitome of evil.
Right.
It's
almost like only somebody this evil could manufacture a fake story about Germany, because. Yeah, because it's so unbelievable that it has to be true. Because nobody would make something like this up.
Right.
And I also want to... Oh, go ahead.
No, you're right.
I want to add a little thing in here. Do you want to know why Russia's not doing tons of war crimes in Ukraine?
Because they're not evil people?
No, because there's not videos like this.
Oh, gotcha.
Every day. Okay, so there's a guy, and he looks at the camera, smiles, gets his 50 cal, and just starts shooting it into people's high-rise homes. And he looks back, you see that? That's the IDF soldier with a 50 cal machine gun.
But who is this?
This is
from where?
In Gaza.
Oh, you're talking about Russia. I was like, this is not a good...
I'm just saying, if this type of stuff were happening in Russia, we'd have the videos. But imagine, he told them before then, start the video.
Right, watch this.
Watch this. It's like this. When you look at the IDF, they're not as much a military as they are just like thugs.
It really sounds like it.
Because
But sadistic...
Yeah, in Russia, I will bet if you do something like that, some terrible things are going to happen to you. And we talked about the story that one time where the train stopped, the train going to the concentration camp, and the Nazis robbed one of the people on board, and then they went to the bar. And then when they got to where they're going, the people get out, we were robbed. No, you weren't. Yeah, I know some SS guys robbed us. And they're like, who, where?
Right.
And they just go hunt them down, drag them out of their bar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're getting it, brother.
Right.
That's how militaries work. This is not how military works.
But it's even more than military, because now you're thinking, well, all Germans are this. No, we're not. These guys are exceptions. You see what I mean? The image extends past the military.
Okay, right. Because you're making a representation, especially in something as war, where you got to be picture perfect on everything you do. You know, you've got to be, and it's like they're not hiding their faces.
Yeah,
the guy's not wearing a mask.
The ego and the it's incredible.
It's like they want to just, I don't know. It's like they want to incite something. Like there's this one, and the lady filming it, you never see her, but she's singing what sounds like a nursery song in Hebrew. And it's this like cute nursery song that you would sing, you know, to a kid or something. That's what it sounds like to me. And the bulldozer's coming and there's just lines of Palestinian bodies and it digs down. So it's getting a lot of dirt and it's just see how many bodies they can get per scoop, you know, just so they can take and throw them into a mass grave. And she's just filming this, just singing a little song.
Oh, and I wonder what the translation is.
Yeah, I would love to know.
Wow.
I wonder if there's that peace song that they made that's all about murdering Palestinians. You know what I mean? And it's titled like, you know what I mean, 100 Years of Peace or something. I don't know, something stupid.
Wow.
Anyways, so that's our allies.
Yeah, we're definitely the good guys.
And when they ask, I think it was Kirby, the White House, one of the White House spokespeople. I don't get what his relationship is to the black lady. But anyways, they asked him about it. And he said, up to this point, we have no credible evidence that Israel has committed any type of war crimes. And they're like, but on this day, and he's like, up till now, we have no credible. It's we've got eyes,
right?
You know, and one of the videos I saw was probably a fake. One of the videos, or it was from some other scenario, or it wasn't Israelis, it was somebody else, probably.
Yeah,
all the videos,
and they all happened to. Or maybe everyone's anti-Semitic, and so they're just finding these videos and.
Yeah, it's pretty nonsense. Okay, well that's what I got.
Well, thanks for the depressing video.
The Hungarian one's going to be very positive that we just filmed and we're going to be published later.
These are opposite spectrums. It's just sad and terrible. Well,
we got some really positive stuff coming up this week too. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Because it's Israel
week, so those are never uppers. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, thanks for getting to the end of this one. This one was rough. Now I just feel like my soul's weighed down by these people. So. I obviously didn't enjoy this. Maybe you learned something and trying to understand who these people are. It's crazy. We're doing Wednesday and Thursday we're doing a interesting video about who owns the company that owns the company behind one of the biggest porn distributors on the internet.
You'll never guess what type of person it is. And then we have a really interesting story. It's colonialism, bankers, and just Africa, and how it's just continually to this day just being pillaged and looted by awful human beings. And so, that's a really good one. And it ties together a bunch of episodes we've done. So it's very fascinating. We're going to learn a lot on that one. So join us for the rest of the week, and we'll see you then.